Most people believe the reason they struggle financially is because they do not earn enough money. They assume that a larger paycheck, a promotion, or a better opportunity would solve most of their problems. While income certainly matters, this belief hides a much deeper issue. The real obstacle keeping many people financially stuck is not a lack of income. It is a hidden investment mistake repeated year after year without recognition. This mistake is so common that millions of people make it throughout their entire lives. Some never realize it exists. Others recognize it too late, after decades of missed opportunities. The mistake is simple. They constantly delay investing while waiting for the perfect moment to begin. At first, this decision feels logical. People tell themselves they will start investing after they pay off certain bills. Then they decide to wait until they earn more money. After that, they wait until the economy feels safer. Then they wait until markets become less uncertain. One excuse quietly replaces another. Months become years. Years become decades. And while they wait, time continues moving forward without mercy. Smart investors understand something most people ignore. Time is not just important in investing. Time is the foundation of investing. Every year that money remains invested creates opportunities for growth. Every year spent waiting destroys opportunities that can never be recovered. The tragedy is that most people do not feel the consequences immediately. Delaying investments for 1 year seems harmless. Delaying for 2 years feels insignificant. Even 5 years can feel manageable. But investing works through compounding, and compounding depends heavily on time. Small delays eventually create enormous differences in long-term outcomes. Imagine two individuals earning identical incomes. One begins investing immediately. The other waits 10 years before starting. Both invest consistently afterward. Decades later, the difference between their results can be dramatic. The gap was not created by intelligence. It was not created by higher earnings. It was created by time. This is why waiting becomes such a dangerous financial habit. It feels safe in the present while quietly damaging the future. Because the consequences remain invisible for years, people underestimate how costly the delay actually is. Another reason this mistake remains hidden is because people often confuse preparation with progress. They spend years reading books, watching videos, studying markets, and researching opportunities. Education is valuable, but knowledge alone does not create growth. At some point, action becomes necessary. Many people remain trapped in endless preparation because action feels uncomfortable. Investing introduces uncertainty. Markets fluctuate. Prices rise and fall. There are no guarantees. Because uncertainty creates fear, people convince themselves they need more information before starting. But in reality, they are often using information as a substitute for action. The hidden mistake is not ignorance. The hidden mistake is hesitation. Fear plays a major role in this pattern. Most people fear losing money more than they value potential gains. Psychologists call this loss aversion. A small loss often feels emotionally stronger than an equivalent gain feels rewarding. Because of this natural tendency, people delay investing even when logic tells them it may benefit them long term. The irony is that avoiding investment risk often creates a different type of risk altogether. Money left idle loses purchasing power over time. Inflation quietly reduces what money can buy. Opportunities disappear. Potential growth never occurs. The decision that feels safe in the moment may actually create greater financial danger over decades. Another hidden mistake involves chasing certainty. Many people believe successful investors know exactly what will happen next. They imagine wealthy investors possess special insights that eliminate uncertainty. This belief causes people to wait for confidence before taking action. But smart investors understand certainty rarely exists. Markets remain unpredictable. Economic conditions change constantly. New opportunities emerge while old ones disappear. Waiting for complete confidence usually means waiting forever. Instead of seeking certainty, successful investors focus on consistency. They understand they do not need perfect information to make progress. They only need a reasonable plan and the discipline to follow it. This difference in thinking changes everything. Average investors ask, "When should I start?" Smart investors ask, "How can I stay consistent after I start?" The first question often leads to delay. The second question leads to action. Many financially stuck individuals spend years searching for perfect investments, while ignoring the simple power of regular investing. They chase shortcuts, trends, and exciting opportunities. They hope one brilliant decision will solve years of financial frustration. But wealth is rarely built through isolated moments of brilliance. More often, It is built through ordinary actions repeated consistently over long periods. Small investments made regularly can eventually outperform dramatic decisions made inconsistently. This reality feels boring, which is exactly why many people ignore it. Human beings naturally prefer exciting stories. We love tales of overnight success, massive profits, and sudden wealth. Slow and steady growth receives far less attention. Yet slow and steady growth remains one of the most reliable paths toward financial freedom. The hidden investment mistake keeping people financially stuck is not a lack of intelligence. It is not a lack of opportunity. It is not even a lack of money in many cases. The mistake is believing there will always be a better time to start. And every year that belief survives, the cost becomes greater. Block to 6,200. Once people finally recognize this hidden mistake, another challenge appears. They discover that starting is only the first step. The real battle is maintaining consistency long enough for investing to transform their financial future. Most people begin with enthusiasm. They open accounts, make contributions, and imagine a future filled with financial freedom. During the first weeks or months, motivation feels strong. Progress feels exciting. The journey appears straightforward. Then reality arrives. Markets decline unexpectedly. Economic uncertainty appears. News headlines become negative. Financial experts disagree. Suddenly, the confidence that existed during the beginning starts fading. Doubt enters the picture. This is where the hidden investment mistake evolves into a second problem. Instead of viewing volatility as a normal part of investing, many people interpret volatility as evidence they made a mistake. Fear begins influencing decisions. Contributions slow down. Investments stop. Sometimes portfolios are sold entirely. Years later, many of these same individuals wonder why investing never worked for them. The answer is usually simple. They interrupted the process before time could do its work. Smart investors understand something that average investors often overlook. Volatility is not the enemy of investing. Emotional reactions to volatility are. Markets have experienced crashes, recessions, corrections, and periods of uncertainty throughout history. Yet despite these events, disciplined investors who remain consistent often achieved results that emotional investors never experienced. This does not happen because successful investors avoid fear. They experience fear just like everyone else. The difference is that fear does not control their actions. Financially stuck individuals often spend their lives reacting. They react to headlines. They react to predictions. They react to market movements. Their financial strategy changes constantly because their emotions change constantly. Smart investors focus on responding rather than reacting. A reaction is emotional. A response is intentional. When markets fall, average investors often ask, "How much could I lose?" Smart investors ask, "Has my long-term plan changed?" Most of the time, the answer is no. This simple difference in perspective creates dramatically different outcomes over decades. Another hidden investment mistake involves confusing activity with progress. Many people believe successful investing requires constant action. They frequently buy, sell, adjust, and chase new opportunities. They believe movement equals improvement. In reality, excessive activity often damages performance. Every emotional adjustment introduces risk. Every attempt to predict short-term movements creates opportunities for mistakes. Every impulsive decision increases the chance of abandoning a strategy that may have succeeded. If given enough time, successful investors are often less active than people imagine. They focus on discipline rather than constant intervention. They understand that long-term wealth is usually built through patience rather than endless activity. Patience, however, remains one of the rarest financial skills in modern society. Technology has conditioned people to expect immediate results. Information arrives instantly. Entertainment arrives instantly. Communication happens instantly. Because so much of life moves quickly, people expect investing to move quickly as well. When it does not, frustration appears. This frustration becomes expensive. People abandon strategies after months that may have succeeded over years. They give up on investments before compounding becomes powerful. They sacrifice future rewards because present progress feels too slow. Smart investors think differently about time. They understand that wealth creation is often invisible before it becomes obvious. For years, progress may appear modest. Account balances grow gradually. Results seem unremarkable. Then something interesting begins to happen. Growth starts generating additional growth. Compounding accelerates. Momentum develops. What once appeared insignificant begins producing meaningful results. This stage feels sudden to outside observers. Friends and family may assume success happened quickly. In reality, the visible breakthrough was built upon years of invisible consistency. This is why patience becomes such a powerful financial advantage. Most people are unwilling to remain consistent during periods when results are difficult to see. Smart investors continue anyway. Another reason many people remain financially stuck is because they focus too heavily on income, while ignoring behavior. Income matters, but behavior determines outcomes. A person earning a moderate income while investing consistently may build substantial wealth over time. Another person earning significantly more may remain financially stressed if spending constantly expands to match earnings. Smart investors understand this principle deeply. Whenever income increases, they do not immediately increase consumption. Instead, they often increase investments first. They allow future freedom to benefit before lifestyle inflation takes control. This creates a widening gap between earnings and spending. Over years and decades, that gap becomes a powerful engine for wealth creation. Most people never realize how important this difference is. They believe wealth is primarily a function of earning more. Successful investors understand wealth is often a function of keeping, investing, and growing more. The hidden investment mistake keeping people financially stuck is ultimately not about markets. It is not about economics. It is not about choosing perfect assets. It is about behavior. It is the habit of waiting instead of acting. It is the habit of reacting instead of planning. It is the habit of seeking certainty instead of consistency. It is the habit of chasing excitement instead of embracing patience. These habits feel harmless individually, but repeated over years, they quietly prevent financial progress from ever reaching its full potential. The good news is that the solution is often much simpler than people expect. Start before you feel completely ready. Invest before conditions feel perfect. Stay consistent when emotions tell you to stop. Focus on decades rather than weeks. Allow time to become your partner instead of your enemy, because the greatest difference between people who remain financially stuck and people who eventually achieve financial freedom is rarely intelligence, luck, or opportunity. More often, it is their willingness to begin, remain patient, and continue investing long enough for compounding to transform ordinary decisions into extraordinary results.